Thank you to Hairpin Art Center for being our streaming partner. AnySquared Spotlight Art Talks highlight member and friend artists of all ages and experiences. Hello, everyone. We're doing the AnySquared Spotlight again this week, and we're highlighting Natalia Virafuentes, who's a friend of AnySquared and has been to AnySquared, has been part of AnySquared on and off, and also is a muralist and an artist, and I'm very excited to see work I haven't seen of hers. She is a wonderful person, and I'm excited to see her work. So let's go, Natalia.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Okay. So my name is Natalia Virafuentes. I'm a Mexican American muralist, interdisciplinary artist. I was born and raised in Chicago, and when I do art, it's just like a deeper sense of self. Like I'm looking within and then trying to reflect that outside. So I'm starting from the very beginning to elementary school. In elementary school, I used to draw a lot. I would take classes after school in the library, and we would do like still lives. So my teacher would bring in like lizards or like skulls and branches, and we would be drawing them. And then back in the day, I was just like, it needs to look real. When I was a child, I'm like, as I copy it, it needs to be real. It has to look exactly the same. So, and this lizard one right here, I did like all these little circles. I was really, when I was doing the scales, I was like, every little circle, they're like little blocks that I was doing. But this is the only artwork that I could find from when I was in elementary school because I moved many times. My parents divorced when I was in elementary school, and I moved like 13 times all over the city. So a lot of my stuff was thrown away. My dad would be like, there's no room in the next place, so we got to throw some stuff out. And I'd be like, no, my sketchbooks, my paintings, as a child. But, it's okay. I continued it either way. I did not let that get me down. In high school, I took other classes. I was doing Marwin and Gallery 37 at the time. Yeah, in Marwin and Gallery, I was doing like so many different things. I was practicing like sculpture, painting, video, pretty much anything that I could do. I was really into doing different things. But this was one series that I did as a junior. And like, because of the divorce and everything that I was going through, I was a very depressed child. But so when I would paint, it would be like some dark stuff. And this me as a junior. And I wanted to do like different fears of people that they had. So it was like a phobia series that I did. Yeah, and at this time I was doing a lot of oil painting. I was really into oil. I like the texture that it created, the movement. But now I paint a lot in acrylic and everything. But back in the day, I did a lot of oil. So, and then senior year, this was another series that I did for my senior year. I did Wall and Gallery. It was supposed to be a design portfolio, but I did not understand what design meant as a child. I was like, design doesn't mean to have to be Photoshop. Do I got to put like text in it? Like, what is this design? But so I ended up creating these characters or that were inspired by Alice in Wonderland. And at the time I was playing this video game, like Alice McGee's Return to Wonderland, and it was like a scary version of Alice in Wonderland. So this was my take on it. I did Alice as myself. That's how I had my hair all dyed. And I was like, this is perfect. So yeah, I think they were originally pastel drawings, and then I transferred them onto Photoshop and edited it. And then I was like, design. And later on, I went to college, and here in college, I was experimenting more with color. Like I said, back in the day, I was doing a lot of more realism. I wanted to do like that color needs to match that in real life. If not, no. But then in college and going into gallery, I was experimenting a lot with different materials, different things that I can, whatever I could find. And yeah, this was a series that I did of some of my friends and a teacher I really liked. because he inspired me a lot in my drawing and painting when I was like creating more simplistic things and breaking away from figures and just creating shape and color, you know. Uh, yeah, this was a fun series that I just did. I was just practicing my colors and trying to create like vibrations or like tension between the colors. And then later on, I started painting my face because I thought it was fun. I enjoyed breaking down the shapes as simple as I could, or trying to create like almost like a space in between. I just thought it was cool to not fill everything in and just challenge the brain to connect everything on its own. Like later on, it starts to break down even more, where it's just like brush strokes, you know? So this was a series that I did for a while. And then later on, I was getting into printmaking. This is one of the pictures that I did, and it was Meet Your Savior, where I did pretty much Jesus in meat products because I kept thinking of like how they eat the body of Christ, and I'm like I should make them out of meat, and that's pretty much what I ended up doing. I ended up carving the pieces of meat myself and printing them one stamp at a time. I should have done it in a better way, but this is what I just thought at the time. This one's gone already. This one sold a while ago. Um, then later on, after college, I was still doing more printmaking, but this time I was doing more sexual stuff and more about the body. Because I was young, you know, I was free. I wanted to do whatever I wanted. If I wanted to rub my body all over a piece of paper, I'm gonna do it. But I wanted to change it too into different forms where it was just like from afar, people wouldn't really tell what they are until they're close up. You know, it would be funny when I would display them. People are just like, "Are those boobs?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then they were like, "Wow." But everyone thought I painted them by hand, but I didn't. You know, like I painted on the breast, and my friends would like do some sit-ups for me, and I would do like different prints of them or like ghost prints of them too. And then I started like layering them too, so to create more depth or to build it up, and then changing it where it would just be like hands or stuff. One of my friends had perfect circle breast, and then I was like, dude, later I'm gonna make you like little Mickey Mouse hats, and I'm gonna make portraits of people and press your breast right on top of them and make little hats. Yeah, they were perfect. It was funny. But this is an ongoing thing, so I'm still trying to collect more because I want to cover like a whole wall, just a whole wall full of breast prints. And I think it'd be great. But I also wanted to do other body parts. So I wanted to do like penises, vaginas, butts, you know. I just thought it was very interesting to just display like this like very sexual thing or something that's supposed to be like someone wants so much, but it isn't real, but they still want it, you know. So that's I call them impressions of reality since they're not really real, but people love them though. So it's like I'm like, take it easy. It's just a painting, dude. And then later on, I did my face prints. Uh, this was like almost like a self portrait. And I also did the same thing that I did with the breast prints, and I did the layering, but this time I added like markers, pens, and I created a lot of shading. I wanted to make them look like maps, like it was like a map of my face. Um, but yeah, this was like a small series that I did of 6 too. But like I said, it was a continuing thing. I still want to do more. I still want to do like prints of my friends' faces. Uh, yeah. And later on, I did more sexual stuff. But this time I did it with patterns. And I just wanted to work with the space and just manipulate everything to the point that people didn't know what it was until they got really up close. I enjoyed like tricking the brain or making it work harder than it needs to when it's looking at a piece. Like I want you to pay attention, look at it, and then you reflect and you tell me what you see, you know. Sometimes people they wouldn't see it and then later on they would. But yeah. So this was just me like working with stamps, a lot of patterns. I was really into just breaking up the space as much as I could. And then I also wanted to share my sketchbooks. Sketchbooks have been a big thing for me since like I said, back to elementary school. I lost a lot of them, which was very sad, but I now just keep as many as I can, and I make them into books, pretty much like chapters in my life or journals. Like, I would document anything in there. Like, here I was like in the mega bus, and I love the shadow. I love the contrast of the light that was coming from above, and I was like, this is a perfect drawing. And down here, I was like, me and my friends, we were drunk at a beach, and I'm like, I have my sketchbook, let's all draw in it, like, let's capture this moment. But instead of like photographing it, it would be like drawing it or putting it down on paper. Me and Natalia up here, we like drew each other. It was just fun. Well, me and Natalia would always like, well, we still do like practice and going back and forth and like mixing our stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was my cat.
Yeah, the cat knows. But yeah, pretty much all my sketchbooks I change or I make them into different things. I make folders inside of them in case I collect anything, because sometimes I'm walking around and I find a piece of paper or a poster, or I don't even know, like a cap, anything, a piece of plastic. If I find it interesting, I would put it in my sketchbook and collect it. And I just like going over them and looking back at all the different ideas that I have and how like concepts that I've created, or how my mind has changed, or how I thought of like my art back in the day. It was very interesting, but I will be remaking a lot of stuff from the old days. There's so much stuff that I have not finished, and that was another thing. But as of lately, I've been finishing my paintings. It was just very difficult for me for some reason. Yeah, so some more pictures on my sketchbooks, just so you can see what was going in my mind. I'm feeling like a demon eating my head. It just felt satisfying. Or me doing my laundry, I was just bored. I love the patterns on the floor. Or me being on the train, looking at all the patterns in the wood, seeing all the people. I tried capturing the scenes as quickly as I could. I usually would do with like one line per character. Yeah, when I go on the train or on the CTA anytime, like I just carry my sketchbooks. I carry little sketchbooks anywhere I go, and then I have this multicolored pen, so I can like have anything I want. If I can't do my watercolor, then I have my multicolored pen. Like yellows, greens, purples, whatever. In case whatever I wanted different colors instead of just black and white. But yeah, I love my sketchbooks. For a longest time, I was like drawing people's feet because I thought I was freaking out people when I would look at them. So I started drawing their feet instead, and I just thought it was very interesting how they're very like each foot or each shoe was like a different character, and it told a lot about this person. I'm like, man, they're hard workers. Those have holes in it, like, or they're very nice. And I was like, those are really clean. Like, this person's going somewhere, and yeah. Yeah, everyone should have sketchbooks. If you don't always have a sketchbook, like if you're an artist for real, like have even a small one. I have a big one at home. Like I have the big ones at home, and then I have the smaller ones like in my purse or in my backpack. And then I went into coordinating events. So before I continue, do you guys have any questions? Because then I'm gonna go into newer stuff, I guess. No? Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, cool. So after painting and did you have something, Derek?
No. Keep it. I had a thought, but go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so after doing a lot of painting and drawing, I started doing events, coordinating events and curating, because I just thought it was fun collecting a lot of artists in one space, and like just it was pretty much like a party to me, but with art. So I thought it was very interesting. One of the first ones that I did was Just Cause, and that was with a few friends that I would like go hang out with. Originally in Cicero, I would go all the way to Cicero, to this place called Corazon, and it was like musicians and visual artists that were all hanging out there. And later on, I started hanging out in Pilsen, and then that's when we started collaborating with other people at the Lincoln Methodist Church, and it's like on Damon and 22nd. And yeah, they wanted to put an event together, and I already had a lot of friends that were artists. So I was just like, yeah, let's do this. Why not? It's kind of intimidating because I'm like, I've never done this before, but I got friends, let's do this. And after that, I loved it. I loved the energy, being around so many people, them enjoying the art or interacting with different artists, and like building this community of artists and people that I know. Even musicians, like I didn't really know about musicians until I started hanging out with my friend Dan, and he knew more of the music side. So I was like, or my friend Elton, he would do the music side, and I would just do the visual artist. I also helped do the Rudy Lozano exhibition, which I was like very honored. We put up some posters that they had, and then we also displayed like new artwork and everything. And we had like spoken word and stuff. It's like what's happening right here, pretty much. But yeah, as of lately, I've been working a lot with PocketCon, and then I started back with PocketCon maybe in 2014. And it was originally due to the nostalgia show, which were fundraising for PocketCon. And PocketCon is like a one-day convention that pretty much focuses on artists of color and characters of color. Because we were like, we need more of this for sure. And I love that it was just comics. And I've been helping them build it up even more because they've always been amazing. And I just wanted to do more than just nostalgia show. So that's where a lot of the coordinating of events goes to.
Hey, do you know
Mhm.
Brian Pitt's Legends of Parallel?
Brandon's
Brian Pitt's.
Brand Pitts.
He does a black comic called Legends of Parallel. I know it does. It's not familiar.
Yeah, the Legends of Parallel sounds familiar.
It
But
sounds familiar.
yeah, something with Legends for sure. Put it on the link or on the chat, and I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, with PocketCon, yeah, we have a lot of artists. Like I think this year or last year, I guess, in 2020, we went virtual, and prior to that, it was always like giant crowds, So it was crazy going virtual. It was way different, but it was something that we might do in the future yet again. At least it was very interactive with the people, and really enjoyed it. Cheers to Beers is like a earlier or a more recent thing that I've done, where I've also collected artists, and it was like a traveling art show. So instead of people creating new artwork, I was just like taking it around so people can enjoy it. Yeah, these are other events that I was in or that I helped curate too. This was the Just Cause. This was the first nostalgia show. This was with what's it called, Loud Arts over there with Tatiana and everything. I was so happy that they lent me the space and I was able to help PocketCon and everything with this. I was at the Fiesta del Sol Pavilion. That's where I pretty much met up with another group of artists, and it was like we were different ages, so it was pretty cool. But we were pretty much called Empty Canvas, and we would just like display together or put shows together. But in the end, Empty Canvas, we did not work out as much. Everyone was doing their own thing. We did not work well as a group later on. Like in the beginning, it was cool, and then later on, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do my thing, or I'm gonna go over here, and we wouldn't like work as a team anymore, and it was kind of sad. But that's something like I enjoyed AnySquared. I enjoyed Loud Arts, where I was able to be in a group or in a community of just artists. I wanted to help each other or just do something together, put stuff together. That's why I was kind of sad that Empty Canvas didn't really work out as well. But that's okay. And then here are some of my earlier murals that I did. These go far back to I did some in high school. So the first one that I ever really did was the Paderewski one, Paderewski Elementary School. And I did that one with Josue too. That's the one that's how we met a long time ago in high school. And that was run by Rahman Static and Maria Gaspar. So like these guys were like inspirations to me, like with Derek. It was like but yeah, they inspired me to like really push myself in doing art, doing bigger pieces. I learned a lot of different techniques because of them. A lot of dry brushing. I never even knew what dry brushing was at the time, because me, when I would paint, it was just like pretty much chunky. I'm like, you know, like Van Gogh or Monet, like very impressionistic. I like the texture. And then they're like, well, let's try a different technique. And because it was like very like airbrush looking, but I didn't understand how he did it. I'm like, you don't have a spray paint, so how are you doing it? And then he showed me that it was just like very lightly, very, very, very lightly. And I didn't believe him. I was like, oh my God, it does build up. But that was a good experience. I really love them. And they're like people that I really look up to, and then really like I admire them with everything they do, and they're still working. They're still doing everything. But yeah, later on I did some for my high school too. That was just for fun. We did some around. It was like different countries that we painted. Yeah, later on I was doing a lot at the Flatiron. I was very happy that I had some chances at the Flatiron to just paint. Like they would have their second Fridays, you know, and then they would just have like blank walls. And if you knew people, they would let you paint the walls. And I was like, great, I'm so happy. And that was like the first times that I was doing like big mouths. Because I wanted something more like for you to imagine you being consumed by something, or I really wanted to change a space. Later on, I did something with the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture. We ended up doing like tents outside, and we gave everyone like little pieces of these canvases, different shapes of the canvases, and they can paint them. And then we constructed them into like animals, as you can see here. And then we put them all up on the fence. So it's like an installation / mural that we did. And I really don't remember how I even got connected with them. I think it was like something through Facebook. They posted, and I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted to be part of it. And I did daycares. Yeah, when I was actually trying to work as a muralist, I was doing daycares, like children's like bedrooms, people's houses, you know. But as time happens, I just wanted to party, like, and then I fell off. So this is what I do now. Pretty much, I do my 3-eye faces. Originally, when I started doing these faces was because I was getting very depressed at work. I was a massage therapist, so I was always like working a lot with my body, and I would get home where I would be like really shaky. It'd be too much on my body to even hold a brush. Sometimes it would just like fall out of my hand, and yeah, I would get very anxious or sad that I couldn't hold it. Ooh, I'm getting my throat's getting shaky. Sorry, but yeah, I did these because I was getting sad and I wanted to reflect upon like within myself, well, what I want to do. So I quit my job, and luckily my husband, he was still working, and I could take like a few months off to really like get back to what I was doing and feel better. So I started making these faces, and they were just like automatic drawing. You know, I would just start picking a color or start just scratching it, doing something, you know, creating whatever I could to let something out. And then after releasing something, then something more clear would come through. And then that's what the faces were. And later on, I this was the first one that I did down here, the red one. And I've always been very like anti-religious. Like my family was always very religious, and so I was always like going to the church. You know, we try to do the baptism, we did all that. Or like I remember when we would be in Mexico, we would literally carry the Virgin Mary from one pueblo to another pueblo. You know, you walking miles to take this person or to take this statue to another side. And I just found it interesting how much energy they would put into it. But I just didn't understand it. Like we would come back and then they wouldn't want to go to church, but they would force me to go to church, you know? So then I was just like, man, if you're not going to church, why am I going to church? You know? So a lot of my work has always been like very going into like almost holy, but not really, because I don't want to challenge that either. But it's still very energy based and a lot of like within reflection. and then trying to like project that outwards. But originally my faces were all looking to the side. Like they kept looking to the side, like they're just doing their own thing, whatever, living my life. But the middle eye was always trying to pay attention and always trying to be aware of what's happening, even though I'm like in my own world too. But after the Black Lives Matter, and the protesting happened, I started changing the gaze on the faces. I started looking directly at the viewer, because now I wanted them to know, I'm like, you're being watched, look within yourself, reflect, look what's happened, instead of me not caring. I was just like, hello. So later on, I added the hands, and the hands were originally, I wanted more like peace and love, and I wanted like to show like we're like harmless, defenseless, and someone pointed out that it was like the hand of Fatima, and I was like, I don't know what that is, and then I had to Google it, and then it was like, it pretty much is like from Islam, and it's like the hand with the eye in the middle, and like thumbs almost goes to the sides, but it's pretty much protection of evil, and I didn't even know that, but I felt like something within already knew, because sometimes when I'm imagining painting or drawing and it's very like automatic and I'm not thinking about it, I feel like it's like a deeper, or not a deeper, like it's like a universal knowledge. Yeah, I know this might sound weird, but I feel like everyone's minds are connected, in some way or another. There's like a big cloud of knowledge that collects everyone's information from their minds. If we put so much energy out there, like it's for everyone to feel it, but that I feel like there's like a connection through all humans and everyone, and then that's how I was able to like even bring this out without even knowing what it was, like something within already knew like this should be out on here because this is what we're trying to say without me even knowing. But yeah, it was the same thing when I was doing the tribal or the face paint. I didn't even think about it as tribal, like I think Derek was the one that brought it up to me, and I was like, I was just painting my face originally, and I thought it was really fun, and it was almost like warrior paint too, but it was almost like animalistic, I'm just like marking myself, and that's where I was going with these. So that's why when I create these faces, it's just like, it's not a person, it's like just like an energy or a being, or not even like a spirit, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, these are what I've been doing a lot lately. And then I've also done Nosferatu. I like Nosferatu because he's just fun. Like if I want to be mischievous or if I want to do some weird horror stuff, this is my other character. This is my fun side, my weird side. Yeah, but the other side's what I show to people, and yet Nosferatu is like like down low. Is just like just for myself. For me, I love horror, so if I want to do some bloody stuff, I'm gonna do some bloody stuff. Yeah, so I'm doing like little zines, little stories, because I really enjoy this character, and like he's supposed to, vampires are supposed to be horrible. They drink people, they murder, and all that stuff. But at the same time, there's something about this creature that I found very interesting, Nosferatu, specifically this vampire, just because he has like these lanky hands, and I love the film. It was very German expressionistic, so I love the shadow play, the angles, and I love the creeping. Now it's just like, I get you, dude. That's me. That's what I do in the shadows. You don't know that, but that's what I do. Yeah. And then luckily I had a chance to do a mural again in 2019. Last time I did was in 2017, but it was like a child's room and everything. But this was like the first time I ever did something really, really big. This was like 14 feet. And I was so happy that my friend Cosmo, she like reached out to me and she was like, we're doing this mural. I know it's been a while, but I know that you can do it. And she's like, you should do your faces. And I'm like, really? Because I originally would always do them small, I never thought of making them big. And then she's like, yeah, do your faces. And I'm like, okay. So I did this face, and this is the original thing that I did. And when they paint it, they like covered so much space. It was like ridiculous. Like I was like, man, I gotta learn how to spray paint. Yeah, because they covered a whole block real quickly, and I'm still here struggling with a roller, like trying to paint it by hand. But it was a lot, but I learned how to use spray paint. Like later on, I get the stencil. I was like, I'm not gonna do anything by hand. I'm just gonna stencil it, create a pattern, and we'll pump it out. And then luckily I still had space on one side of the wall, and I'm like, I'm gonna fit Nosferatu there. So I did them kind of like interacting. There was like a board or something there, and so I put a bunch of stickers. So if people wanted to tag stuff up or put stuff up, they can put it on there. And they have, which I'm happy. I don't have an updated picture, but a lot of people have put their stickers on there too. So I'm like, yeah, they got it. But Natalia helped me too with this one. She's much taller than me, so she was able to reach other stuff that I couldn't. But she was a trooper. She was like scared of the heights. I'm like, you got this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shaking, but we did it.
Yeah, we did it. I was like, it was amazing. She was like reaching to spray paint. I was like, go further.
There's a question in the chat,
Oh,
Natalia.
so sorry. I forgot. I'll put the
Yeah,
chat
it's
on.
okay. Well, don't mess up your slideshow. Just leave everything. I can read you the question.
Yeah, because I don't think I can escape this.
Oh.
What's the question?
It's like your pieces are so intricate. How do you know when a piece is finished, or do you see yourself coming back to add new detail?
Yeah, I usually do come back and add more detail. I fight a lot with my paintings. Like I'll go back and forth a lot because I'm afraid a lot that I'm gonna mess it up. But then I'm like, man, what? Why does it matter? I'm just gonna cover it up. It doesn't matter. Let me just do it. If not, then it's never gonna get done. So as of lately, I've been trying to push myself more. And that's why I enjoyed the murals. With the murals, like I can finish like one big piece maybe in like a couple of hours or in 2 days, while I have like the smaller piece and it's taking me longer because I take it more serious in some way. Like with the murals, I'm having fun, I'm just like, yeah, movement. It's just like a lot of my body, and over here I'm just like, okay, no. Yeah. It's different, but I do like adding a lot of detail to my stuff. As you saw in my earlier work, it was a lot more just line. I like the repetitiveness of it. But as of lately, I've been trying to break away so I can at least have some space for the eye or more movement for the eye to go around, so it's not too cluttery. Yeah.
Derek, did you want to ask your question that you had in the chat?
Oh, me?
It's about even though you shun the hypocrisy of religious institutions.
It just is so funny because, Nat was describing how, because of her experiences when she was younger in the family, they say, go to church, because that's what you do and it's tradition. Mm-hmm. And that's the same way it was with me too. And so I say, it's like, even though you shun the hypocrisy of religious institutions in a way, your imagery has always reminded me of a search for godly presence and a positive universal vibe. It's like it's in us to still search for what is real.
Yeah. Or like bigger than us or something. I know there's something, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
But I know it's energy for sure. It has to do with energy.
Because it's like the imagery takes me to Pakistan or Africa or Aztec. It's got this thing that says, I don't know, it's almost like I'm searching kind of thing. And it's just kind of fascinating,
No,
we
I
had
like
that
that.
before.
I like that. Yeah, yes, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're like almost like headpieces or something too that I imagine, or like halos at the same time.
But it's like energy
Hmm.
surrounding
Yeah.
nucleus, and the
Hmm.
eyes are searching for the path, I
Yeah.
guess, if you
Yeah.
want to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's
Fascinating.
true.
Yeah. Because it's funny, just like you, and even with Cosmo, it's like it's strong, strong, repetitive imagery, but particularly for you, yours feels more, you know, kind of universal.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm trying to make it more energy wise, something bigger, but I don't know what it is yet. But
Yeah.
it has been transforming even with the hands before. Originally, like this was the first one that I did. I didn't do hands before. So that's why I had so much space around. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna cover the whole side over here because I'm not gonna do anything. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I didn't know how to work, vertically this way. Or I mean horizontally going this way. I was just
Yeah.
thinking vertically the whole time, and not horizontal. And then once I did, then the hands appeared, and I was just like, this feels right. And I've always been all about my hands in general because of massage therapy.
Uh,
It's a lot of manipulation. We have a lot of power.
Interesting.
They're very fragile at the same time, and we use for protection. You always like you cover yourself, and then that's how I imagined it. But at the same time, I did a lot of Reiki and a lot of energy transfer when doing massage, and I did oncology massage, and that was a lot more energy based. So we couldn't touch the clients um, because if you did a certain way, you can give them lymphedema or like damage something. So you would have to be more gentle with people that had cancer, and it was always a lot of energy based. So the hands have always been very powerful to me, and I wanted to include them. And even in my sketchbooks, like I'll always do like prints of my hands because I want to see the change throughout years. I know that the wrinkles change, and then that goes into palm reading. I go way too into it,
Wow.
but
No, it's
the
fascinating.
hands are beautiful, and I've always loved looking at hands, especially like older hands. I love looking at the wrinkles, the veins, and then just drawing that. It just tells a lot. It's a lot of story, and this is like these
Yeah.
little things that I pick out
Yeah.
that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Very historical with the hand.
Yeah.
But no, this is fascinating. I mean, it kind of puts a whole new light on your work,
Cool,
explaining
good,
to
good,
this level.
cool, cool.
No, no, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
perfect. Okay. So yeah, this is the mural that I did. And then later on I started working with oilcloths. This is also going back into like reminiscing to the time that I would go visit in Mexico. When I was a child, before my parents divorced, it was always like every year we would go to Mexico all through the summer. We would not be here at all. So I didn't have many friends in America, but I had friends in Mexico. So uh these were pretty much like remembering, but kind of like patches of memory when I think back to my time in Mexico. And the oilcloths always reminded me of the tables that we would eat on. So my grandma would have like a table outside and we would just gather, and it was like, or we would be outside at night and we have like our hot chocolate and like our sweet bread and everything. But I really enjoyed the patterns and the texture of the oilcloth. And I wanted to do paintings from that. So I was like reflecting on things that I could remember at the time. Yeah, and the first things that came up was like tahine was one of the first ones that I drew because I would always put that on all my like fruit, anything that I would like drink too. Bimbo, I love conchas. I love pan bimbo, and I remember these are the brands that I specifically remember when we would go to the stores, like the bodegas. Like it was just like Lala was reminding me of my aunt too. Her name was Lala, so I would be like, "Hey, Tia, it's your milk, Lala," and it was delicious milk. When I would come to America, I'd be pissed off because I wouldn't have that milk. Like this doesn't taste good. Yeah. So yeah, these that I did here with the logos were hand painted. I painted them with acrylics. It's acrylic on the oilcloth, which might not last. I should have done oil, but It's okay. In the future, I know that now. But yeah, I was practicing a lot of logos, and I just thought it was very interesting, and I want to do more and like catching parts of my memory and things that I remember from my time in Mexico. I'm probably gonna do sugar canes, caña. I wanted to make them, but like realistic looking, or nopales, cactus, or just even do a set of like a food that my grandma would do, but paint it on there just to remember those times and just capture that. Yeah. The ones up here, the jarritos I did by projection. I projected them, then I cut them out. I don't know who can you guys mute yourselves? I don't know, because I think that there's like a
Mute
repetition or an
everybody.
echo. Yeah. But these I did by cutting them out, and I traced them because I was doing the opposite way, and I wanted to have the negative and the positive at the same time. I just thought this was very interesting. It was like more like an abstract painting when I was looking at it. And yet again, it was like making my brain work harder than it need to see what it was. And I enjoyed that challenge. So I plan to do more of these negatives too. And I enjoyed the jarritos. I'll probably do another jarritos. I really like the bubbles that I created. But this is another ongoing series. I've made like little wallets. I'm doing like a purse, because I just find the material very interesting. So I was like, I have to do more stuff. But yeah, this is just the beginning of things. Like I said, a lot of my work, it's just like I start it and then I don't finish it, or the series isn't completed, and then I'll start something new, and then I'll go back. I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna finish it like a year later or something, or a few months later. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it again. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna finish that series, and then I'll start this other thing. Yeah, and then this was at Lip 2020. I love the setup. I was just telling Tatiana that I'm gonna set it up like this in my house too, because I love it. It looks great. But yeah, that was a great exhibition. And I was very happy. Thank you, Tracy, for having me. And
It was
that's
great to have you in the
continuing.
exhibit,
Yeah.
and I love those pieces. And I
Yeah.
like the direction you're going with the patterns over patterns, because I think it has a different kind of feel to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's more like abstract, like instead of these are
Mhm.
just like straightforward. Yeah, that was the reason I continued it, because of Lip 2020. I was making different things. I was really motivated. And then I was lucky enough to also paint a window for them. Thank you, Tracy, yet again. This time, yet again, I wanted to send more love out there. There was just a lot of crap going on, and I just wanted to put a positive message out there. And like I wanted to create like this creature. This time I rolled them all the way down, because this time I imagined him as a creature or as a being or something. But this one wasn't as much as an energy. But this one was like looking down at the people and trying to protect them and watch over them, and just to know that there's someone here that loves you. Yeah. So I thought it was pretty challenging at first, because I was supposed to do it from the outside in, and I thought that was weird when I was painting it, especially because of the tempo. I had to work really fast. So like the green, I was like painting it really fast, because when it started peel, it would start to peel, and it was kind of frustrating. But it was okay later on. Once I got the technique down and I understood how to like
It looked good.
work
It
this
looked
way.
good.
Yeah. I would be like running outside across the street. I'm like, okay, it's looking at me. Let me run back upstairs. Yeah. It was sad when I had to scratch it all the way down. It's like,
I know, it was sad for
it's like, why could
everyone.
you stay forever? But yeah.
We did a series of they have 9-foot by 9-foot windows at Hairpin, and we did a series of paintings with a lot of people, and Natalia was one of them.
Yeah, everyone was like covering all the windows.
We may do that again.
Yeah, awesome.
In the future.
Cool. And then I started doing the boarded up windows. This is when I started like meeting up with my friends, and this one right here in the bucket of blood, this was like one of the first ones that we did. It was like Tatiana, Squeak, me, Angel, and we were just like painting something we wanted something punk, but at the same time, like, you know, stand up and with Spanish and English, because I was just tired of just seeing a bunch of English. I'm like, we should do more Spanish stuff too. Uh, we were just doing money for the community. This one, like they were just giving us stuff for the material, so I was very happy. Or like neighbors or people around the block would just be giving us some food. Everyone was so nice. So it was good to see a good turnout. There were some times when we were downtown, when I was painting this one downtown, there were some people that were talking a lot of bad stuff. But they were just getting very aggressive for no reason. But we still kept going. All the artists that were just kept painting, like, that person's crazy, you know, whatever. That's not gonna stop us. Yeah, like the man like got out of his car and started like yelling at people, like, dude, just get in your car, keep driving, move on. Like, but yeah. It happened too, like to Natalia. I know there was like an altercation that happened by Kumas and everything. It was just crazy. But again, it was just like I just kept doing it because there's no point. I'm like, people can talk all the crap they want, but it doesn't matter. Then later on, I did Meeting of Styles. I did it in 2019, which is this one right here, and then 2020 with Natalia Sustaita. So you don't confuse us. But yeah, the original ones, this is when I was still challenging myself more with spray paint, because I'm like, all the street artists are doing it. I'm like, I can learn how to spray paint. You know, I know how to paint and draw, so I can learn how to work this other material. I was scared of it. As you can see here, like how this silver is all janky. My lines are all like scared compared to like later on, it'll be more confident. But I was like, I was not going to let it put me down. I'm like, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to do it. And then when me and Natalia did it the second time around, we did it together. Originally, Natalia said that she wanted to do the mushrooms. And I'm like, okay. So when she said the mushrooms, I imagined like this beautiful girl coming through and, you know, like encouraging you to trip with her and do these shrooms, you know, get all crazy in this neon lights. And that's why we collaborated and we came up with the neon lights and the glowing effect to it. Yeah, man, Natalia killed it in the neons. It was awesome. It was beautiful, and I was very happy. We worked very well together. So we finished it in 2 days. Yeah, we finished it in 2 days because we wanted to see everyone else's artwork too. So yeah, me and her were like pumping it out. And then over here you can see like Squeak was doing her stuff too right next to us. Yeah, it was fun. All three of us just working together, just side by side, you know. It's always fun doing stuff with friends. Like that's why I enjoyed this too when I was like with them. We were just hanging out, listening to music, just painting, just vibing, and just giving good energy. We're just trying to do good stuff. Yeah. Now I've been doing more murals, so I've been focusing again as murals as my like #1 career. Like I said, I was doing it before, but I was still young and I just wanted to party. I wanted to drink and go to the clubs, so I didn't pay much attention of what a career was. You know, I was just like, I'll work out for you, whatever. But now it's just like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to be doing massage therapy for forever. Like I love massage therapy too. You know, it's just to me, it's like an art form of its own. I'm pretty much molding the person. I'm like sculpting their bodies, like helping their muscles, realigning them. So I still enjoy it. I still do that on and off, but it's mostly been murals. I've been focusing more on my mural work because I love transforming places. You know, I love changing a space and just designing or creating something for someone and making it real for them. You know, I like that. Like sometimes people like I do other digital work, just simple designs for like albums or t-shirts that people want. And it's just interesting for them to give me all these different ideas. And it's just like, they don't understand how to draw it. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. I got you. So I'll draw it out for them like this. And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? Like, you know, I like that feeling. I like helping the person just to bring their imagination to life. So that's what I did with this restaurant here. Originally, they wanted like inside they wanted Asian umbrellas. So I created these and made stencils of Thai symbols because it's a Thai restaurant, but they do some Asian, all types of mix of food. But yeah, I did some stencils for them because I didn't want to do everything by hand, you know, and it looked more unified if I did stencils. these circles, I did them with string, you know, I had to put a push pin and I used a string. I was just like drawing them all out, and then had giant rulers and I was doing all the lines, you know, so it was tedious at first, but it was fine. Uh, then they liked that so much they wanted one outside. And this one I also did by hand, as you can see down here. Like there was no projection. I was just like I was practicing them here at home, like big flowers. So I would like draw them in white, run across the street. I'm like, okay, I like that placement. Run back, do another flower. I'm like, okay, that looks good. Run back. Yeah. That was a lot of work going up and down. I should have gotten a scaffold, but instead I was struggling with the ladder. You know, I'm like, I got this. Build a lot of upper body strength, but it was good. I completed it, and they were very happy. So that's pretty much what I've been focusing on. And then later on, I did the mental health mural, and then this one I did with Mario. Well, he was the one that originally put it together, and he wanted to collect all the artists to do it because it was like right behind his house. And then it was like me, Squeak, and Natalia, and we were coming up with ideas to what we wanted to do. And originally it was gonna be something cool, like really dramatic. Well, this is still very dramatic, but something in this way, but it wasn't going to be as serious. But something happened prior to us meeting for the idea of this, and it changed our whole concept. And then we went with mental health because we wanted to bring up more awareness to what was happening in the neighborhood too. And we came up with like a more of a anatomical neurons to indicate, you know, it's something deeper in the mind or chemical imbalances that we can't really change that can hurt someone or make them feel more depressed or angry or change their moods. You know, sometimes we can't change that. And then on the other side, we wanted something more gentle. This represented pretty much the woman that passed away. And I didn't really know, no one really told me what she looked like, but they did tell me that she had braids. So we wanted to at least add braids to connect it to her, to know that we were aware of what happened and everything. But we wanted to show that she was a caring person too. And she just wanted to help her family pretty much. But we wanted to do like water as purifying, just so the person on the anatomical side would feel more comfortable to reach out, you know, to not be afraid and to be able to let it out. That's what we wanted to put the paintbrush to, because of as artists too, you know, most of us have gone through some depression or some have to deal with some stuff, and we use art as a therapy to like let it out, you know, as I did in high school. As you saw, the darkness, it just felt comfortable. Like everyone else is scared or angry too, and it's okay. And that's what we wanted to show too in this one. And I was so happy to work with these guys, and we did a great teamwork. Like we were like running back and forth, we were helping each other, like, oh, you should fix the forehead here, or you should fix this a little bit more here, you know. And then we had two other artists that were graffiti artists. Like Mario does more graffiti too, but like me, Natalia, and Squeak were like more illustrative, I guess. We don't really do a lot of words. I do more imagery, but we needed someone that knew more technique. So Demore or they pretty much like did the background. Mose also did the background. He was the one that did the neurons here. He helped us with the water, this poofiness here. He was so good. Like, and then the other graffiti artist, he did this background too here. But I pretty much did the woman here. Natalia did all the plant. And Squeak did the hand and the bones, and the rest was Mario with the mountains too. Yeah, so it was just like a team where it was like all of us just working back and forth. This time we did have a scaffold, so it was easier to do all of this. But this was a huge wall, and at the same time we wanted to do something with the community, so we like had a whole cleanup. We cleaned up this whole area like around the block. I was so happy. It was just like a whole organization that we wanted to change stuff, you know. There was a lot of cleaning that we did. We also gave away like little art kits to children that were coming through. We put posters up so they could know they could just come through, and it was all in the open, so no one was really close to each other or anything like that. You know, it was cool to see like a good turnout of people, and just like the movement of people just going through this alley, or like cars driving by and they're just like staring like, what is going on, or they're like back up to go through there. You know, it was really cool. And yeah, we continue to do more stuff together too. There's other murals that I've done too with them, and other stuff too, but I just cut down a lot of my stuff. I have a lot of work. But yeah, I wanted to show you the video of just a little bit of what we did here. But
Before you do that,
Mhm.
somebody asked if you could show like your slides really quickly through
Okay.
before we get to the video part, and the video part will do question and answer.
Oh yeah, yes, we'll do the question and answer. Yes.
Just like go through them again
Okay.
once
Yeah.
more. Just a click, click, click,
Yeah.
but not
So
too fast.
yeah, this is the elementary school. My junior year when I did more depressive stuff. Still angry, still depressed, feeling better in college, trying to experiment, being more free away from my family. More experimentation, breaking down, more painting.
I love those.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's way more of these. I also covered a wall with them. It was the same thing what I wanted to do with the breast prints. This is also a continuation. I need to do more. But I enjoyed doing the prints, more prints. These guys, yet again, it's a continuation. I'm still doing these. The faces too. These were like my maps. I have to do, if my friends are watching, I'm gonna paint your faces. Like all of you guys that's here. It'll get dirty, but it's okay. Yeah. More sensations, me breaking down, working with spaces, lines, and textures. My sketchbooks, because I love them.
I love your sketchbooks.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love the one with the roaches on them.
Yeah. People would be scared when I would show them that. I'm like, it's not real. They're fake. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, like I would put straps on them so they can keep closed, because I would like collect them. Like I said, I would collect everything in there. And one time I displayed them because I thought it'd be cool to have like a mini show, and people stole my stuff from inside. Yeah, my little painting, my sticker, anything that was collected, they stole from inside. Yeah, so I have to be careful with that. More sketchbooks. My coordinating events, which now I just focus on PocketCon. PocketCon is specifically what I just coordinate now. It's a lot of work doing events, you know, so I enjoy murals more because it's just me working instead of me trying to negotiate and like watch over everyone. It's a lot of work. My earlier murals, my 3 art faces, my Nosferatu, my mischievous side. More murals. I want to do more window painting for sure. It's different.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Thanks for the review.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
And I think we'll you can show the video, but we're gonna go to like everyone can ask questions now. If you want to be on the video, you can turn on your video. If you just want to be sound, you can just turn on your unmute your microphone. You don't have to be on the video. But this is like the making
it's like a
of
recap.
making of the mental health mural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's all of us like pointing out like how we're gonna set it up. We drew it out originally. We were trying to like on the iPad or whatever, or Procreate. I'm sorry, Procreate. Yeah, and then we were just like laying it out how we thought. I changed the position of the head. I didn't like it. There's Marion squeak trying to get the anatomy down. Yeah.
When you get in a space, you kind of have to adjust to the space.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was a really long wall. It did not compare to when we did it on the drawing. Yeah. But does anyone have any questions or anything?
Do you ever go and revisit your work every once in a while? Just to kind of see I know I do that. I don't know if you do that.
Yes, I have. I've changed a few portraits too and altered them to how I felt now. But I still like keeping some of what is in the past still to see through, because I don't want to cover it all up, because I'm like, that's what happened, I'm aware of it. But I'm building upon that. Unless I really don't like it, I'll destroy it completely. But for the most part, I always like to leave at least like the texture to come through or something from what was underneath it.
How would you say, like, the way the climate is now as an artist, how you expressed yourself in the beginning and how you now seem to lean more in a positive way? Would you say that is partly due to what's going on, or it's just who you want to be? I mean, what is your inspiration for the direction of what you like to do?
Yeah, it's pretty much where I want to be. I'm much better now. I'm much happier, after painting and quitting my job. That really did help. So it's been like maybe a few years now. It's like 3 years now, right? Since 2016, because that was the year that I just gave up. I was like, I gotta stop working. I need to focus on my art and just relax and just be about me instead of like just work, money, money, money. You work, But compared to how it was in the past, I am much better at, like, I don't know, expressing myself and trying to at least be more positive. Because back in the day, I would be more negative, and I enjoyed dwelling in the negativity. I was very emo,
Oh, they hate
so
that word.
yeah, I did hate that word, but that's the reality. That's what I was. I was very sad of everything that happened. But now when I do my work, it's just like I said, I still do some dark stuff, but it's not like because I'm depressed or anything, just because I enjoyed some goal or something.
Yeah.
Or pushing it to the point where it's just like, I don't know, like it challenges somewhere or makes them feel some type of way,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe revisiting where you were and where you are, and sometimes how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does somebody have a drone to take this?
Yes. My friend Jeremy. I was so happy when I saw that he had a drone. I was like, dude, you better bring that when you come to the mural. Yeah, because of this, I've been trying to document more of my murals and my work. That's another thing that I've changed from how it was in the past, where I just worked and I didn't really care. Like I said, I was just doing painting for the sake of doing painting. But now I've been trying to change my perspective, and like, I want to be a successful artist. So how can I be successful? And me comparing or seeing what other people are doing online, like a lot of YouTubers that I follow, like two muralists that I really follow is called Doke and Kipto, and they do a lot of documentation too of their work, and I really enjoy watching it. So I'm like, why don't I just document my stuff, and maybe people will enjoy watching it too? I enjoy watching other people's do work or their process. So I just started documenting a little bit more. So this is when we were giving away the little art kits, and people loved it. Yeah, there was like stickers, clay. I was very happy.
Hi, Nat.
Hey, Noemi, what are you doing?
All right. I really enjoyed like watching looking at your journey, and I'm a big fan, and
Thank you.
I really enjoyed seeing all the work with the where you're using your body, like, to create, work, to create art. And yeah, how you said you like to work like get in between the spaces, and those self portraits were awesome.
Thank you.
I just really enjoyed looking at all your old work.
Yeah.
And to see your journey, like from to branching out in your own murals, working, collaboratively with your friends. yeah, because I mean, these big walls really do, you know, it's about a team effort, right? And
Yeah.
I love how you guys work together and your styles are so, you know, kind of similar. You kind of bounce off each other really well.
Yeah.
So I'm just really proud of you all, and I'm so happy you guys are painting together and yeah, and collaborating. That's so important, so cool.
No, yeah.
And you know, because I'm all about women muralists, like being out there. That's so cool. So I just want to say congratulations, and so happy for you guys, for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's the same thing when I'm like looking over my old work. I was like, man, this was good. Why didn't I do more? You know?
We live and
So,
learn, you know?
yeah, exactly. So now I'm doing more and pushing it. I want to push it further. Like, I know I can do this, but where can this go? Where can this else work? Can this take me? You know? And that's what I'm trying to figure out just by pushing stuff a little bit more. I'm going to
You
show
can
you
stop your share screen unless you want to show another thing.
like, well, people are asking questions. Does anyone else have any more questions? I'm just going to play this other video in the background too.
Cool.
Does anyone have any more questions or?
Any more questions? Let me know if you want to unmute, or you can ask them in the chat too. Oh, it says, what is your next art challenge you'd like to tackle? Robert Castillo asked that.
I will say painting more bigger pieces in my house because I keep working very small, and even like I don't know, sometimes like I feel like I need to be outside to do a bigger piece, but I just been like rolling out pieces of paper recently to make them just paint in my room really big. So that's the next thing I'm trying to tackle, just paint as big as I can inside my house, inside this little room in my studio.
On top of that question, I was wondering, like, what does the future hold? What kinds of things, not just your next challenge, but like, how do you want to develop in the future? What direction do you want to see your work going in? It's like, I see that you're doing collaborative stuff.
For sure, I want to focus a lot more on the murals. I like the transforming of the spaces. So I want to try to do like that. That's what I've been trying to focus more. Like I want to build this as my career. So I'm trying to figure out how can I make this, how can I see make myself or make people see what I do, you know, like without questioning it. Like when you look at the video, they're like, oh yeah, she did that, you know, because it's different when they look at the pictures. They're like, oh, that's nice. But then I show them the video and they're like, oh, I see you actually did it. It took that long. It took this, yeah, you know, and that's what I want people to see. But yeah, it's just I want to just focus more on my murals, and I want to do more. Like I love the faces that I do, but I want to push them. Like I said, I want to create more like an in-between space. You know, I want to create more, but I don't know yet what it is. But it's something inside is just like craving, like keep pushing it, push it further. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been doing fabrication too. Like I want to make like little plushies.
Ooh,
Nice.
those
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they're like make like with lace and everything here.
Oh, that's pretty
But
cool.
this is something I also want to do. But I'm like all over the place. I love working with all different types of materials. That's why I'm like when Noemi was doing hers, I was like, man, I'm there. Like I want to do everything too, you know. But I'm trying to finish things.
But
April
yeah,
asked, what?
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing, is actually finishing what you start. You know, that is a big challenge, even for me. I've controlled it more over the years, but yeah.
That gives me more hope. Because I'm getting there little by little.
I had a painting, and if I'm not butting in, I have a painting, and or had a painting, and a year later I picked it back up, and within a month it was sold. So it's
Wow.
like,
Yeah, no, that's what happened too. I just like brought out some of my older work and I sold 3 of them. And I was like, I've been displaying these for like years. Like,
yeah. Sometimes, you know,
now.
it's just like you need to take a little vacation so that you can gather your thoughts and your inspirations.
Yeah.
And then the pieces start to connect. And just the way our minds act, the way our minds are, You know, sometimes we need to step back and then go back in there, you know.
Yeah.
April asks, what's the medium you'd like to master that you haven't mastered yet?
For
And she
sure, spray
says,
paint.
love your work and your development as an artist.
Oh, thank you, April. I love you. That's my friend. But yeah, I want to do more spray painting for sure. Because it's still a lot more work, you know, the pressures, the different types of pressures in the cans, the different types of caps, the different types of paints, how they like work with each other. Because then sometimes the oils or the chemicals within them like reject each other too. And I didn't even know that because I was wondering why it was like drippy or something like that. But I do want to get better at spray painting just because I can cover space so much quicker. Like it's ridiculous. Let's see this.
What motivates you to organize the things that you've organized, like the events, the like PocketCon or all the different events?
Pretty much my friends and the energy that I get from the people, and I love being around people. But sometimes it does get overwhelming. Like I said, when I'm coordinating people, I'm pretty much a manager. I'm working all night, like night and the next day because I got to come back and clean, you know. But
I know your
even doing
pain.
that, yeah, even doing with all that, I still enjoy seeing people happy, interacting with each other, displaying new artists. I love seeing the artwork or what people create, you know. I just love seeing people's ideas come out, you know. So that's what pretty much motivates me to coordinate a lot of events. And then with PocketCon, I just been focusing way more on them because it's once a year, and we like work and we meet throughout the whole year to get everything perfect. But it just seems it's something that I want to focus on more than just doing little shows here and there. But like I said, I just want to focus on murals instead and do that as my job. And coordinating can still be a maybe, but just as PocketCon. That'll be my job at PocketCon. So let's see, how did PocketCon start and how long it's been going? I think PocketCon started in 2012, I believe, 2012, 2013, something like that. So they were already doing, Elgin was the one that was like doing them in gyms. He was just gathering some artists and they would just have it all there. And later on, he said that he wanted some help just fundraising for PocketCon. So we ended up doing the nostalgia show, and I did that at Loud Arts. And that's how I pretty much started meeting up with like Tatiana and everything, and Jerry. And then when Loud Arts closed down, then I went to AnySquared, you know. But yeah, we're still going hard. PocketCon's still going hard, and we're gonna keep going for forever. This year's it's gonna be like very special. Hopefully, we can. I don't know if we can still do it live, you know, like in person and everything. We're still probably gonna still do virtual, but it was very successful. We thought it was very successful. We had a lot of workshops, a lot of musicians. So if you got bored with something, you can go to something else. It felt like a real convention, you know. There was different panels that you can go to. Yeah, it was very fun. Let's see. How did you come up selling the Nosferatu? Oh, I sell them just through myself. So if you want, you could just like email me or something. I should put my email on.
And your Instagram. I know they're on your Instagram. Yeah. It's Virafuentes_art.
Yeah. Just message me there.
And I will have that.
I can mail them to you
at the beginning and end of the video.
Yeah. And then I started selling them because like I just thought it was fun. With Nosferatu, it's more like a character, and he's just like enjoying life. And Valentine's just seemed like a good one because Natalia was telling me she wanted to do a Valentine's show, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, do Valentine's Night cards, and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that. But prior to that, I was doing zines. I like little stories of him just doing weird stuff, being mischievous, you know. I enjoyed that a lot.
Thank you for doing the cartoon for the kids art coloring book we did with Unity Park.
Yeah, that was also Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a SpongeBob Nosferatu because that's the reason I started, because of SpongeBob. And the little Nosferatu is like, Nosferatu, and he's like flicking the light in the background. He's like, "Mrr." And I was like, that's who I want to be. So when I do Nosferatu, that's like who I imagine I am, like in my creepy side when I'm watching horror movies by myself and everything, you know. That's how I imagine it. Let's see what else it has. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I think that's all the questions, right? I don't know if
Does
anyone
anyone else
has
have a question, either in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask? If you have problems unmuting, I can unmute you. Go, Derek.
Yeah. I'm like, I think that's it then, right? I think.
So what's your next 2021 adventure? Are you starting to get some signals that you might have possibility for murals or even personal customer work?
Yeah, there are some opportunities. I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully I work with a certain school to do a mural for them, and then also a community mural that they want to do under like these 2 viaducts. So hopefully that happens. We've been talking, so we'll see where that actually goes through. But another one that I want to do is also I wanted to work with the Native American Center here in Albany Park. I just want to like do something for them. You know, I want to help them. I want to deck out their building. So I was gonna write up a proposal and message them and see if they were interested in collaborating, working together. So that's where my future goes. And more artwork. I have way more ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe you'll have like a slot open in case this project comes through for me. I might.
No, yeah, anytime you need my help, I told you.
You as my sidekick
Yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you so much for everyone. I don't know if you guys have any more questions, but I enjoyed this. I was nervous at first, but I felt good. I was like, they're people I know, they're my friends, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yay. Thank you.
Any last minute questions? This is the last chance. Anybody?
Why are you so amazing and awesome?
I don't know,
Spoken like a
Natalia.
long-time friend.
That's
Like,
the other
because you're my
Natalia.
friend. Yeah. My friends make me good people. Like they make me a good person, the people that I know. All of you guys pretty much, you know. I look up to you and what you guys do, and I follow you too, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, we're
Just
gonna
keep it up, girl. That's
Thank you.
I wouldn't have even bothered if I didn't think you had some substance.
No, I know. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you so much. I love it. I love it all.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Check social media for future Zooms and future streams. Thank you to Hairpin Art Center for being our streaming partner. Thanks for watching.